With 3 weeks to go before our summer break, CNN Student News is happy to see you. I'm Carl Azus at the CNN Center. The U.S. Transportation Security Administration is planning to speed up its hiring of more than 700 officers, increase the use of overtime, and use more dogs to help with security screenings. And this is why. Hours-long waits at security checkpoints and airports across the country, missed flights, checked bags missing their flights after a TSA computer slowdown. The TSA, which handles security of U.S. airline travelers, says it lost thousands of employees in 2014 and that they haven't yet been replaced. But the number of passengers it has to screen has not slowed down. Officials say longer wait times are inevitable as travel increases during the summer and that it won't take shortcuts in its screening process that could make Americans less safe. So bottom line, if you're planning to fly, factor in some extra time for security. Up next, a controversial instruction from the U.S. government to public school districts. It concerns people who are transgender, those who identify as a different gender than what's on their birth certificate. Without U.S. Census information on gender identity, we don't know how many Americans are transgender. Some estimates suggest it's somewhere around 0.5%. Last week, the Obama administration sent out a letter telling schools to allow transgender students to use whichever bathroom matches their gender identity. They wouldn't need a medical diagnosis or a birth certificate, only a communication from a parent or guardian about the student's gender identity. This is a directive from the federal government. It's not a law passed by Congress, but it threatens schools that don't follow it with the loss of government funding.
We will not yield to blackmail from the President of the United States.
The federal government calls them guidelines, but several states, including Texas, see them more as a threat.
This goes against the values of so many people. It has nothing to do with anyone being against a transgender child.
At a Friday morning press conference, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says a line has been crossed by the federal government after the Department of Justice sent a letter on transgender bathroom use in public schools across the United States.
I'm telling all the superintendents in Texas right now, you have about 3 weeks left of the school year. Do not enact this policy.
In the letter, Attorney General Loretta Lynch writes, "There is no room in our schools for discrimination of any kind, including discrimination against transgender students on the basis of their sex. Under the guidelines, public schools that receive federal money are obligated to treat students consistent with their gender identity, even if their records indicate a different sex, access sex-segregated facilities consistent with a student's gender identity, and protect a student's privacy related to their transgender status."
Undo! HB2! Undo! HB2!
The action sets the stage for a legal battle that's been in the making since March. House Bill 2 in North Carolina began the recent controversy. The law requires trans people to use the public restroom related to the gender on their birth certificate, not how they identify. North Carolina and the feds have traded accusations and lawsuits. Some states, including Arkansas and Texas, insist there's been government overreach. The feds say civil rights have been violated.
Because this is not just a North Carolina issue. This is now a national issue.
From North Dakota to southern Vietnam, get ready to go globetrotting on the roll call. Nedros High School is up first. From the Rough Rider State, we're looking up to the Cardinals in Minot. Now to the capital of Utah, in Salt Lake City. Thank you for watching from the Salt Lake Valley Detention Center. And from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, it's great to see our viewers at Starlight International School. Thanks for your requests at cnnstudentnews.com. The Queen's 90th birthday is greater than anyone's Super Sweet 16. Britain's Queen Elizabeth II is enjoying a series of celebrations. The one this weekend involved hundreds of horses and hundreds more musicians, dancers, performers. It's all in honor of the United Kingdom's longest reigning monarch. She reached that milestone last year, exceeding the reign of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. Even though her position is largely ceremonial, the Queen does not have much lawmaking power, which rests with Britain's Parliament. She's a revered person around the world. And what took place over the weekend is only one of the celebrations she'll have.
The two birthdays dates all the way back to George II in 1748. His real birthday was in November, and he thought that people might get cold and they might get ill. So I'm going to move it to June, where, fingers crossed, the weather is going to be better. So the Queen, her real birthday, 21st of April 1926, when she was born, that's celebrated with a quiet family celebration. And she has her official birthday, usually the second Saturday in June. And what we have is the trooping into colour, big parades, big celebration, the Queen in her carriage, all based in London, here at Buckingham Palace. But this year, because she's 90, she has a birthday in May as well. And that's going to be much more fun. Pop concerts, horse shows. So we have 3 birthdays: actual birthday, the official birthday, and the fun birthday. And it's not just in Britain that the Queen's birthday is celebrated, it's across the Commonwealth, including in Canada, where it's a public holiday, and Australia, where it differs according to where you are. Some people are saying she's 90, it could be the last big birthday. But her mother did live to 101. So hopefully we're going to be celebrating a big 100th birthday in 2026.
You know when you're on Facebook and stories pop up in your trending feed? The company says that the employees who review those stories are not allowed to prioritize one political view over another. Here's why the company's talking about this. Last week, the technology news site Gizmodo published a report that accused Facebook of promoting a liberal news bias. According to the report, reviewers of the site's trending news section allegedly kept stories about conservative subjects from appearing in people's feeds, even though they were actually trending among users. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says his company's investigating the report and that it's found no evidence that this happened, but that if it does, Facebook will take steps to address it.
Ever wonder how a topic becomes trending on Facebook? You know, the column of hot topics to the right of your newsfeed? Well, here's how it works. According to Facebook's head of search, these topics are surfaced by an algorithm. Now, the idea is to flag the most popular conversations happening on Facebook. And also, there's this human element. The topics are reviewed by a team of curators who make sure they're actually trending in the real world. So here are the guidelines. Curators are supposed to weed out hoaxes, spam, duplicate topics. A former curator said there's transparency in these decisions. Employees actually have to write out the reasons they've blacklisted topics. I'm also told that some curators may surface a conversation that might not yet be trending. This is during a breaking news event. So here's the controversy. According to a Gizmodo report, former Facebook contractors say curators routinely suppress stories about conservative issues. In a statement, Facebook says no, they don't prioritize one viewpoint over another. But is the human element inadvertently biasing what we see on Facebook? People consume news from Facebook. The company has this power to surface what we see and also what we don't see. So this report raises an important question. Could the folks on the team have subconsciously or subtly steered away from conservative stories? And if so, what responsibility does Facebook have?
Riley the Retriever has been going to doggy daycare for most of his 5 years of life. He loves it. How do we know? Well, when his owner left the house one day recently, Riley popped the lock on his fence, walked more than a mile through downtown Belmont, North Carolina, and took a seat outside Happy Dogs, the daycare center, until someone let him in. Yes, he spent the day there, and no, they didn't make his owners pay for it. Now, if he makes that one of his new tricks, they might have a bone to pick with his owners and make them retriever some cash. A puppy play place can't throw its services to the dogs without digging up some funding, but the story is one doggone great endorsement on Yelp. I'm Carl Azus. CNN Student News is back tomorrow.